Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the show where we are watching the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 3 minutes at a time and talking about it. My name is Tom Taylor.
My name is Pete Syracuse Mummert.
Classic. Classic Tanya.
Gerald Christopher Freakies Porter.
And today we're talking about minutes 25 through 27 of Dial of Destiny, and these minutes begin with Indy placing a magnet over Marion's picture on the fridge, then getting a paper and a coffee on the streets of New York, and riding the subway surrounded by people dressed up for Moon Day. And we see him trying to teach a class full of disinterested students about how cool Archimedes was, and only gets help from one young woman in the way back. He is then interrupted when a TV is wheeled in, showing the astronauts arriving for their parade, and the minutes end with Indy facing a surprise retirement party and receiving a commemorative clock and saying, "Thanks for poo."
Now thanks for poo.
Thanks for
Yeah.
poo. Thanks for poo.
Speaking of, you gave me a thanks for poo last episode where I was cut off.
I was, yeah, you're
Yeah,
overstepping
no,
your
no.
boundaries.
I
yeah.
was overstepping my poo.
Yeah, you stepped in poo.
So the magnet, right?
Yes.
We see Indy puts a magnet over Marion's face, and as far as I can tell, is the magnet a castle?
It does look like a castle.
My dream, I mean, it looks like a Mont Saint-Michel magnet was my first thought, but my dream is that it is the castle from the first scene of the movie.
Oh, that'd be great.
So, like he went back and bought a souvenir magnet from the same castle
way out of town,
that he looted on the
That'd be amazing.
Or is it? Do you think it's a castle from what was it?
it could be from Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
the
and
tapestries.
Scotland.
Yeah.
That's where he saved his dad, yeah.
Or it could be this mythical haunted castle that we never got.
You know, it looks like one of those castles that you would find on the floor of an aquarium.
Yes, yeah, with a little hole in it and the fish goes through, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, almost before he puts it on, but still when he puts it on her face, when it's more upright before he puts it on. Am I the only one who clearly sees that as a middle finger? And he's putting a middle finger over Marion's face.
I did not see that.
Just the shape of it. There's like the mounds
No,
and
it's
a
a
middle
little
finger
bit.
sticking
It's
up
like
even more.
I guess I can see that. Yeah, I guess I
It's
can
like
see that.
no, it'd be like the middle finger from is it Heather's, where he gives him the middle finger and then his finger gets shot off.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because the finger. I mean, your middle finger thing is the finger's too stubby, like it's been shot off.
Well, it could be some people do the thing where like the knuckles are up around, like all the other knuckles are up further, up to like the second knuckle of the middle finger, so it's kind of making the middle finger shorter. But then other people just do like the full on, like straight up, up yours.
Yeah, it can be a middle finger, Tommy. Yes.
I just want it to be a middle
Like
finger,
it to be,
Jerry.
yeah,
It's a
it
little bit
can
funny,
be.
a little poignant. He's
I mean,
clearly sad, but he's like, you know what, Marion, don't look at me.
I mean, what's interesting is well, that is interesting. He's like, okay, is it Marion, don't look at me? Or is he kind of like, is it a foreshadowing? Like it's the old classic thing where it's like, here's his wedding, here's his marriage, here's his relationships. And he's putting like a castle, like adventure, antiquity. Yeah. All that stuff over his marriage.
But a magnet is also a supportive thing, Jerry. So that's supporting the relationship. That adventure is what their relationship is.
Their
hanging on.
animal magnetism between them.
That's right. Layers.
Well, he didn't
layers.
put the banana over her.
That's true.
Signified sexual chemistry.
That would have been very crude. Or the cherry, because that wouldn't have applied
the
anymore.
cherry's already over her.
That's it's been hanging over her head for ages.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's sad.
True.
He buys some coffee on the street, even though he just had coffee with the special added ingredient.
When I saw this in the movie theater, I was like, "Oh, that looks like New York." And then when I watch it on this, and when you learn that it's not, when you learn that it's Glasgow,
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't. It suddenly looks nothing at all like New York. It's like it's weird. Like it's too red or too orange. Like the color's off.
It's
It's strange.
it is that thing. As soon as you know that it's not, you can't see that it's.
Yeah.
You can't not see that it's not. But I think it works really well. I think it's.
I think it does too when you're just watching
Yeah,
the movie.
they did a good job.
Yeah.
I think.
It's
I had
interesting when
no
they can take
idea that
cities
was-
that different and they
Yeah.
can try to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
Huh.
London and Eyes Wide Shut. It's like that's definitely not New York, but it didn't.
That's
look like London either.
all those curvy streets in New York that it's
Yeah.
famous for that just sort of end at the end of a block. Yeah.
They had this shot in the trailer as well. I
did,
really
yeah.
like this scene, this shot, just the whatever.
I like the shot too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
It's a little jarring.
It's like it's like I kept saying in what was that one? Crystal Skull. Like, oh, if Indy's going to be in the 50s, I want to see him in the 50s. And so like, oh, he's in the 60s. I see him on the streets of New York in the 60s. I like that. That's fun. I think so.
Wow. He's on the subway, and I think this is one of the best scenes in the movie. He looks at the little
Yeah.
kid, and the little kid's celebrating Moon Day, and it's one of those things again where everybody around him is like dressed as a astronaut. There's like, I guess the woman who's like hanging on to the subway bar, and she's got like the big blue.
Yeah, she's got
suit.
the blue astronaut suit on. with, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
the
he's
cheerleaders have their
wearing-
sailor hats on.
Yeah. Yep, and he's wearing just a regular drab, crappy suit.
Well, everybody's excited about life and
Yes.
the world
Yeah.
around them, except
and the
for him.
future and excitement and fun.
Yeah, everyone's living.
They capture this really well. And he looks at the kid, and he kind of looks at him. He's like, "No, yeah,"
yeah.
but he doesn't do it in a nasty way.
No, he doesn't do it in a nasty way. I think that's nice that he doesn't do it in a nasty way.
Yeah. He keeps it to himself. He's like
Yeah, he keeps it to himself. He's kinda
judging
like,
in
"Oh,
silence.
He's
okay."
he's dismissive of everybody in this movie, but that kid for some reason.
So let me ask you, does Indy know that this is his last day, or is it
I have
his
no
last
idea.
week?
He's retiring. Yeah.
Yeah, but so is it? So he says like, oh, this is going to be on the final, guys.
Yeah, if he's retiring, why is he? Yeah, it doesn't seem to. add up.
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm looking at this. So July 16th, 1969, or July 24th, 1969.
Well, we know it's after June because the divorce paper was June 28th. I
right.
think.
Yeah.
The Apollo 11 dates, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is this the end of the summer?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the feeling you get. Yeah, you get like Summer of Love, or what was? It's like the end of the 1969.
But so he's not even in a full semester. He's in a summer semester.
Maybe
Yeah, that's
this
true.
class is largely taught by like, TAs or something, and this is like the last time he's coming in to like actually teach or something. Does that work? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That
either.
is weird. I didn't even
strange.
think
I
about it being
hadn't thought of
summer.
that,
Yeah.
But what is I do kind of like this classroom scene. It's a little sad and a little depressing, and I guess it's supposed to be. But it's interesting that we've had like what 3, 4? How many classroom scenes have we had with India? We had 4. There was one in
Yeah.
Raiders, one in Last Crusade, and one in
Everything but Temple of Doom.
Right. Yeah. So he's always been kind of like, interested, but, just kind of like giving him the facts and stuff, talking him through stuff. He's going to give him homework. But here he's like super animated. He's like really into it this time.
At the end. At the end.
Yeah. He's talking
Yeah.
about like the pottery or whatever. He's kind of like, okay, whatever, you kids are boring me. But then like he's getting into the Archimedes stuff.
Right.
And he's super into it. He's like more animated than we've ever seen him almost in any situation.
I don't understand this scene at all. Like, I don't. He's lived through many of these things he's talking about, and it's weird that he's not able to make it interesting to the kids. But
Well, okay, but see, this is the whole thing, they're drawing the world around him, and some of it's the world around him, and some of it's our hero's worldview, and so it's probably not nearly that crappy and drab outside.
Right.
It's just the way it
Yeah.
looks for him. And so I'm looking at the opening, there's some of the opening shots. You have the woman with blonde hair and the glasses, and then there's like a guy next to her that's dead asleep
Yeah.
in the classroom. And then we have another guy who's got like he's like a Harry Potter looking dude. Even the nerd doesn't care.
And
And his book
Susie
is open.
Cute skirt, her eyelids only show boredom.
Yeah.
Her
But so
one eyelid
they're
says
doing
F
that.
and the other one says U.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And like
it's-
nobody cares. And like,
But what
yeah.
class would you talk about Assyrian pottery and then go on to
I knew you were going to
Archimedes
say
and
that.
like this is a weird like
Yeah.
what class has these two things? These are like separated by 1,200 years. Like it's a weird.
He's got to
That's
cover
a good
everything. It's his
point.
last day. He's got to
Yeah.
just get it. Yeah.
Well, see, what I'm saying is he's
Yeah.
like, it draws a very different comparison than when we first see Indy and Raiders, where they talking about the Turk Dean Barrow and like he kind of trips on himself and he's
Yeah.
because the woman, they do that very specific. The woman pops her bubble gum. And like the guys are looking at each other and nobody cares. And like it's fascinating. There's one shot of a guy and he's looking out the window.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's kind of fascinating. It's like he's looking out the window and they're just trying. I think they capture either the despondency of the nation
but everybody's
just,
excited.
I
just
think
the
yeah. I
world
think
is
they're
passing-
their minds are not on Archimedes because we just
Yeah.
landed on the moon.
Yeah.
And
They
they're
just let
excited
it,
about the parade
and they don't
stuff.
want to be there. It's the last day of class. It's July. Interestingly enough, Indy does get very animated at the end. He goes, "Come on," he's like, "Anyone?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is this like a Bueller moment?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, guys, this is going to be on the final." And even that is flaccid.
Well, no, he's like, I guess I'll walk you through it. I guess I'll
I'll
spoon feed it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I don't know. 'Cause
I
he
like
was,
it.
Okay.
And I actually like his performance. I like his bored performance, his bored,
Yeah.
annoyed with these kids' performance. Like, all right, I guess I'll walk you through it. Like, nobody did that. It's
Okay.
going to be on the final.
Yeah, but it's a perfect old man. This generation
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Yeah.
These guys don't get it. I'm laying out, I'm like throwing knowledge haymakers here. And these guys are falling asleep, looking out the window. Their minds are on anything, all this other stuff. I mean, he doesn't care about Moon Day at all. There's a
Right.
party. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and then, so it's basically there's nobody who's involved in his world at all. Just
Right.
more
That's true. And I definitely had professors that were much like that were very boring like this. But
Oh, sure.
Nancy Demand.
yes.
Yeah, we had
Poor
Pete and I had the same ancient Greek professor, Nancy
Yeah.
Demand.
And the ancient Greek professor, you don't know if that's an adjective describing Greek or her. It was
Yeah.
she was
Wait,
about
who
Indy's
is-
age.
Who's the Roman one? Remember
That
the
was
woman?
Professor Williams.
Yes, I liked her,
Yeah.
and she was
Yeah.
also kind of nuts too.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, we both Pete and I had we both took, I guess, the same classes.
Yeah.
I mean, but we weren't in the same class.
No, we just had the same. Yeah, kind of
Professors
track.
there.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Hopefully they're listening.
Yeah. One thing I'm gonna pull a Jerry and I'm gonna
Ew.
politely tap the lazy bell.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan of this. Seems like it's a thing they do in movies now is where there's this need to introduce characters and they need to give them an action that immediately tells you what they do. And I don't like Helena being introduced shuffling cards.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So
for
hold
something
up.
about that
What is-
bugs me. It's like, okay, she's
Yeah.
a hustler. She's okay. We gotta.
What is up?
We
with
gotta
the
know what she
shuffling
is in this
cards?
first.
Yeah. Why is she doing that?
Because she's a rogue hustler and she's gonna pull a fast one and she's. I don't know. I don't. To me,
That is
I
a
don't like
little
that
much. Yeah.
drawn
that's-
brush strokes they're using there.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think about that before, but that is kind of because I don't think we ever see another card in the rest of the movie. Is that true? I don't know.
We do see the casino where she's well known.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So
but
maybe-
she's not
maybe
like
that's-
doing card stuff.
No,
there.
she's not doing card stuff. But this is like, oh, we're gonna introduce her. She's a gambler. She's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe she's nervous.
Maybe
And that's her
She doesn't
tick.
seem nervous. Yeah.
She's
she
comfortable.
should just be
you know.
like flicking a butterfly knife or something. She should just be doing that.
I do love the kid in front of her that's just completely outraged that she's answering questions. Like he
You
turns
know
around, he's like,
Archimedes?
Shh. shut up. Why is this lady answering questions?
Trying to get out of here. I do think this is interesting because it's like a we've seen like obviously we've seen classroom scenes with him, and we've had it's a nice combination of a classroom scene and this is your mission scene, like explain to us what the Staff of Ra is kind of scene.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it's a little clunky. That's like, oh, he happens to be teaching this class. That's going through all this stuff that we're going to see later in the movie. But we're used to that scene in every one of the movies almost.
Yeah.
But I like that he brings in in Raiders, we get that beautiful picture of the Ark of the Covenant with the rays of God coming up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he brings his own Ark of the Covenant pictures this time. Like,
Right, yeah.
Those two pictures he puts up are like from the same guy almost.
They almost are, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I did not. That's really amazing. Like Archimedes is gonna harness the sun to like.
That was a real thing. Like that was a real. I don't think it's believed that he was actually able to do it, but they said he had like a giant magnifying glass.
Yeah,
in,
that's
in
pretty cool.
antiquity. Yeah, but the other thing was cool. He built like this giant claw that would grab the prow of a Roman trireme and like flip it over.
Wow.
Well,
That's
and then he
crazy.
says he uses the word hostiles. I was like, wow, you never hear anybody like about the
Yeah.
Archimedes giant claw is going to grab hostiles from the sea. I was like, oh my gosh, hostiles. How
Yeah.
can I fit that into the
Who else are you going to use on a giant claw on? You got to use them on
Well,
hostiles.
It's interesting because you don't often hear about history from the non-Roman point of view from that period. You don't often hear
Yeah.
something being described where the Romans are the bad guys and the protagonists are the other guys because you don't. It's interesting.
That is.
Well, so we have the new character, as you said, Pete, and she kind of lands with a I don't know, either a clumsy thud or whatever. But I mean, we know obviously she's of Indy's world, so that's
Mm-hmm.
She's
the
interested in
juxtaposition
this
there.
indie talk.
Yeah, and she's like Archimedes, and they're like he's kind of like Archimedes. So what's strange is how come he's not like who the hell are you?
Yeah, you're the
This
first
isn't-
person who's done the
you're not
reading,
in-
and you've never been in this class before.
Well, that's the funny. He doesn't seem to
A370.
care. Like he doesn't seem to care. He doesn't even
No.
know or care.
I think he's
anyone in
just
his
excited
class.
that somebody said something and had the right answer. He's just,
Yeah.
But
It
there's
is
no
on that.
flicker on his face that who is this person? Like it's obviously the last day of the semester.
I don't know, he could be just so bored by his class so far, and it's probably been like this for a while, that he's just sort of checked out. He's like, okay, hey, somebody answered a question. Thank God. All right. It doesn't
He
matter who you
doesn't
are.
care at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Tanya laughing about Syracuse?
Maybe she's from Syracuse, or her
Or
aunt
I
lives in
think- you know
She
what?
says it like we had like a fling in Syracuse. She's
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
I
Syracuse.
remember Syracuse.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
But the way Indy
I think-
responds like, "Oh, that's a well-known thing that she goes to Syracuse."
no, we're not talking about Syracuse right now.
I think that's the love you moment, right? And the
But it's not directed at Indy. It's directed to
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
directed to
That's
the
the whole
board guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
She just-
passed him by now. He's not getting those innuendos now directed
Yeah.
at him.
and that's why he completely intercepts whatever sexual tension there is and douses it.
Yeah.
He goes, "Not that
No,
Syracuse."
Greece.
He's nice about it though. That's the nicest he is, other than to that kid on the subway. He's kind of nice to her about it. He's like, "Not that Syracuse, Tanya." He's not mean.
Yeah.
No.
Use protection, Tanya, when you go to Syracuse. Come on.
The one in Sicily. What he says.
We do
I
have
like
to
that.
say, we can't we not just make fun of her card use, but this is Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who at least I love.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys love her, but I love her.
I
She's,
watched a couple of episodes of that other show, with the
Fleabag.
That
Yeah,
was funny. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's a very good show, and she created that. That's like
Okay.
she's the writer and producer and stars in it, and she's awesome. And I think I like her in this. I think I like her in this.
I don't know if I like her in this, but I don't know if I
Okay,
like
we'll
this.
find out.
Yeah.
She's wearing a beret, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to that is always a tough look.
Yeah.
Pete? Let me
It
ask
can say
you.
a lot of different things. Yeah.
It can say, yeah. What do you think, Pete? What does a beret signify, just in general?
It's unless you're Che Guevara, it signifies that you're trying to be artistic. You're trying to portray yourself as being artistic or like beatnik kind of.
Okay.
I do think a woman like this can pull it off a little more. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
still signifies the artistic thing, but it's also just a little fashion flair thing for a woman.
Well,
Yeah.
it's her hat, right?
That's just her
Yeah.
hat.
That's her. Is
Oh,
that,
that's
you
her
know,
Indiana
let's
Jones
see,
hat?
That's
Oh,
her
that's her-
Indiana
oh,
Jones
okay.
hat. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that she says the anti-Cathera thing even weirder than I do.
She's British. I like the AV nerds coming in because I was an AV nerd. Wheeling in the thing.
Yeah.
Wheeling in the
And why
TV
why
on
do
the
you
big
think
tray.
they did that? They completely interrupted his class, and
Yeah.
he's a little bit exhausted.
He is. Freaking Moon again. Great.
Yeah,
I was-
Moon again. And
At
then,
least
and
I
then
was excited about something. My class didn't care, but I was excited about Archimedes.
and
you're bringing in
he
these
turns
astronauts.
the overhead off.
Yeah, he's done.
It's kind of
He's
weird
done.
too that they wheel in the TV when those guys are standing like 2 blocks away.
Well, I guess everybody's stuck in class. You know,
Okay.
I don't know. They
It
can't-
is funny when they show him because it's kind of a Man in the High Castle kind of moment because it's like 3 different guys. That it's not like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and but it's like it's like oh who are these 3 guys?
Yeah, but it's sort of supposed to be them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, like in
But
movie, it's yeah.
yeah.
That is funny.
Well, you know what's interesting is you know our guest from last week was saying, like Chris Eliapos, like this is, you know, he's no longer at the helm at any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally his own classroom.
Yeah.
He's not, I mean, you know, Helena gets in there and just happens to show up with his, you know, her card, you know, shuffling self. And then these dudes shuffle in with the television
Yeah.
and like they
Yeah.
just completely interrupt his, you know, the moment where he's very excited about, and he's showing these pictures of Archimedes and the claw and the whole thing, and they, I mean, it's just like, yeah, the world
He's-
has completely passed this guy back
He's
by.
kind of further emasculated than he's already been in every other sense in this movie.
Absolutely.
Do you think he's
Because
regretting all the times that he climbed out of his office window in the old days? He's like, oh, you know what? I had him eating out of my hand. They loved me, and I just was too cool for school.
It's kind of great because they wheel the TV in, and they wheel it in the way that the shot is actually framed is right next to it. It just says exit.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Here you
it's
go,
like the
Dr.
whole
Jones.
yeah, the whole thing's sad.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, but well done. I'm gonna say this is well
Yeah.
done. I'm with you, Tommy. Yeah, it's sad, but they're capturing that. You know,
I don't mind
They-
seeing a sad indie at this stage in life. It's
Mm.
interesting to me.
It's a little, yeah, it's a little tough.
It
Let me
is
see-
tough, but it's okay.
Does this cut to the girl from Ipanema playing make you think I could be listening to the Blues Brothers podcast?
I could be listening to the Blues Brothers. I recommend everybody listen to the Blues Brothers Minute. No, I do love that. I like that song, and I like
I do
this.
too.
I don't know. Yeah, did anybody look
Is-
up what version this
Why
is?
are they doing this? Is it a nod to? I'm assuming it's not, but it's a funny choice.
It is a fun. Maybe it's a Steven Spielberg was in the Blues Brothers, and this used to be a Steven Spielberg franchise, and so they're just making that connection.
That's a weird. Yeah, I guess a weird connection.
It is.
I have to see. There's a great. Where is it? I have it on here. God, there's a really Pete. You're gonna like this. I'm doing this for you. There is a Joe Beam with Stanley Turrentine song that I have saved on my Spotify. And I was gonna say I'll find it and suggest it. And,
Thank you.
You know,
I
you can
love
take
both
a
of those
listen to it.
guys.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's actually a great. It's one I haven't heard. Are you a big fan of this type of stuff?
Yeah, and I was at Stanley Turrentine's last show before he passed away.
Oh wow.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is this a weird song for this scene?
I think a lot of the things are weird in this movie.
Yeah,
so I'm-
maybe.
A little.
Oh.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's I don't know. It doesn't seem. I don't know what I would use instead, but it's like.
yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't evoke any. Like it doesn't have evocations of academia in 1960s
Right.
in New York.
Right.
Yeah, it should be in a cocktail lounge or
Yeah.
something.
Right,
or-
right.
yeah.
What do you think they picked this to be like? Just kind of like, oh, here's one of those songs that everybody knows, and
Yeah,
it just sounds like a time that's like a different thing.
yeah.
Like,
It
you
does
know.
kind of seem that way a little bit.
And there, it's a surprise party or whatever, so it's a little bit of that. It's
Kind of lightens the mood.
yeah, Gilberto with Turrentine. It's I can't pronounce this, but it's Zazuria, Zazuria, Zazueira with Stanley Turrentine. If anybody
Nice.
likes
Thank
this,
you.
I think that's a great tune. Anyway,
Yeah, I'll play that afterwards.
um,
Why do these people all love Indy? Because he seems very unlikable. Like,
Hooray,
and I
the
was
Nobel
wondering,
man.
yeah.
well, is he like the big name academic they bring in? Like, they're kind of a small school, and they bring in this big name who's looted all the, that was like, oh, you got the Ark of the Covenant, you got the, and they bring him in, and he's just this grumpy guy that's not nice to anybody. But
I mean, it
'Cause-
would be really interesting to see, like, I don't know when Mutt died, but like if it was like a couple of years ago, like what was he like before? Like he's
Yeah.
been here for 10 years. He may
Yeah.
have been like that guy, like a fun, cool, interesting.
Maybe.
He's got a lot of stories kind of guy, and he's only
Mhm.
recently turned into like a sad sack, and everybody's still
They all
seeing
seem to
him
love
as
him.
the cool guy. Yeah, I mean, I think they. I don't know if they're not oblivious to like where he is in life right now, but maybe they're just trying to like, oh, we love you, you're going through hard times. We're sad to see you go, but we remember the cool guy you were when you got here. Before you started
does
caring
anybody
about life.
know that he found the Ark of the Covenant?
I don't know.
I mean, nobody would know that, right? Because it's
I
like,
don't think so,
it's like
yeah.
top
actually,
men.
no one would know any of the things that he did.
Right?
Would
I mean,
they?
the Holy Grail. I mean, you think he shows up and I mean, when he applies for the position at Hunter College,
Yeah.
do you think he's like, well, I found the Holy Grail?
Or he's like, oh, he's the guy. He had it in his hand. He almost got that Chachapoyan
Yeah.
temple. Or
You found
that
the
idol.
Holy Grail of what? The Holy Grail of Holy Grails. The actual.
No,
Yeah,
what do you
Holy
mean?
Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like a fine, Dr. Jones. It's fine. You're
That's
hired.
great.
We don't need to be,
Yes.
these
Don't need to embellish our record.
phantasmagorical- Yeah, exactly. Or I mean, you wonder how much do his colleagues know? And
He's sort of like a war hero too. Like,
Yeah.
is that on the public record, or is that all?
Well,
kinda-
that's also you were supposed to talk about if you were a spy for the CIA.
Oh, that's true. But maybe you could talk about the cover stuff. Like the stuff he was
Or could he
supposedly
talk
doing
about-
when he was spying.
Could he talk about the trans-dimensional beings?
He could. He might choose not to, though,
wow,
for various reasons.
really amazing.
Or
Like
do you
all
think
the stuff.
Maybe
that
that's why he's
yeah.
depressed. He's like done all these amazing things, and these three jokers go to the stupid moon. Damn
they get
it!
all the credit.
Yeah,
I've been to another dimension.
basically talk to God with a radio.
Yeah.
Why
how
don't they let him? Why don't they say surprise?
I think because they weren't ready for him or something. Like he sees them setting up as he's walking down the hall or something. And he's
So you
kinda
think
like,
they're
boy,
just
here
not
comes the
prepared?
surprise, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, they're all like kind of like scrambling, and some of them have party hats on, and some of them don't. And oh, there he is! Surprise!
Are they meaning to insult him? Is the clock meant to be insulting? Like, is this a sign that like his time is up, or he doesn't have much time left, or
No,
not,
I think
not
it's
that they mean to be insulting, but what is the like? I mean, this is obviously a theme running through this. Is this
Mhm.
are we to get from this that while his time's running out, that is the clock's ticking,
yeah. It's just it's another.
he's going to travel through time, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, I think it's it's like a little bit. It's like a lot of jokes. It's like an inside joke because it's like the Antikythera and time travel, and then it's obviously he's getting older, and then it's like the notorious gold watch
hmm
that you
Yeah.
get, and he doesn't get a watch. They give him a clock, which is kind of its own, it's a thing. And then it also, I mean, it is the theme of this entire segment that
Yeah.
begins with the clock ticking.
He's
works.
very uninterested in this clock. Like, doesn't he give it to a guy when he walks out the door?
I think he does. Yeah.
Like, he's just completely.
Yeah. I guess
mean,
he's
to me
ready to
that-
be retired. I think he's like
Yeah.
he seems done. He's and yeah. Maybe, I mean, looking at the clock like he does, it's probably just kind of like. again, like, I talked to God. I saved some kids from a slave cave.
Yeah.
I had my.
Well,
Saw a
that's why
guy
I
rip
looked
his
at it.
heart
He's
out.
like, wow, this
I
is
was
what you
on
get
the
me.
flying wing.
Yeah.
I saw a guy's
Yeah.
face get ripped
Right.
off.
I killed a guy with a plane. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
a very
saved the
special
Earth
plane. Yeah.
multiple times, and he got me a clock.
Yeah. This is what
Wow.
it adds up to.
That's why
I
he says, "Wow."
I saw Forrestal's dead body.
Yeah.
With like a spear in his head. And you guys are handing me a clock. I'm
I
sitting
is
trusted
like
Satipo.
This is like as I saw attack ships off the shores of whatever. It's like tears and rain.
Right, yeah. It all comes back to Blade Runner.
What was like the what was the song we talked about? I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. I've been undressed by kings, and I've seen some things that a woman
Yeah.
ain't supposed to see. Well, maybe
Ew.
this is his moment, right? He's you know, he's kind of looking at it, he's like a clock.
And I guess this is anybody. This is like we're going to find out soon enough. I think this is anybody who's, lived enough years and then they're like, "Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
God, 60 years and this is what? Oh God."
So what did that? Okay, so how do we feel about him being at Hunter College? So he was at Marshall College. That's a
Yeah.
whole thing, and we love that. And then for
Yeah.
whatever reason, he's
Then
at
he
like
moved to the
this
East Coast to go to
fake
Barnett.
Yeah,
I hate
Barnett.
her.
Is that what was it? Is that what it? Barnett?
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
never know why he was at Barnett College.
That looks identical to Marshall.
Yeah, exactly. And then now he's at the whatever the city college of Hunter.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know. It's okay. 10 years. Well, we don't know a year. Oh, it's like 60.
It's
what?
1969.
69.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 69. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not the Summer of Love, but it's 69. But it's.
And when was Crystal Skull? Was that like
5?
56?
58?
I thought it was 56. Maybe, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So he was still working. Oh, then he got promoted at the end of that. So he hung around for another couple of years.
He aged fast.
He kind of did.
He
Yeah.
aged in these movies a lot faster than he
Yeah.
did in real
They've done
life.
that to him all through the series. The poor
And
guy.
then we have our version of Dean Charlie
Yeah.
and Marcus. Essentially, that guy's sort of Marcus. The guy
Yeah.
with, I mean, a little bit.
I'll give you Charlie. I'll give you Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. What's so fascinating is he is like Johnny Youngbuck gives him the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, totally.
This is my only line.
It's fascinating how young people sort of, the role they play or the symbolism they have in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They're either like eager, friendly people, or they're playing their music too loud.
Well,
Yeah.
why does that guy look like Steven Spielberg?
He kind of does.
It's like the glasses
That's
and the
funny.
hair.
Yeah.
This is
Big
one of those
dork.
scenes though that you normally hate, Tom, which is I think it's interesting that you don't. Is to me, like when I watch this scene, I see 12 actors, 14 actors standing around acting like they're at a retirement party. This doesn't in any way feel like an actual moment. To me, it feels like 12 actors standing around trying to look like they're at a retirement party.
It feels a lot more authentic than those stupid fake paleontologists in Jurassic Park just standing around in their J. Crew, Eddie Bauer baloney.
It's
But
funny,
I know
like,
what you mean. There is a little bit of
This
like,
is exactly
I'm
how
in
I-
an Indiana Jones movie.
I know exactly how you feel now. That I don't see it in that scene, but I know how you felt. But to me, that this scene feels exactly like what you described.
That's fair. It doesn't hit me as fake as that other one, but yeah, I can kind of see that. I
And I
don't know.
think it's
There's like a mix of people. There's old, there's young, there's black, there's white. There, men and women. There's like it's just they tried a little harder here,
And
it's a period
sort of,
thing, so
but I feel like they try to show that these people have a connection, but there's no connection at all that comes across between any of them.
yeah,
It all feels to me, it feels very forced.
we're all sort of struggling to see how people are relating to them.
Yeah.
And you get again, a couple of these people are going to be murdered in a few minutes or an hour or something. So we've identified with them exactly enough to be slightly miffed that they get killed later.
I don't remember that. That's
Oh,
got
see?
something to look
You're
forward
kind of
to now.
intrigued now, aren't you? Kind of want to see more of this movie, don't you?
I will say I'm still not on board with this movie, but I am enjoying that there does seem to be more happening, ironically, now that there's less happening.
Yeah, there's more to pick at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so many Nazis on trains and Indiana Jones hats that you can
That
deal
first 20, as Chris said, that was a remarkably long opening segment. And that
Yeah.
first 20 whatever minutes felt remarkably light on something to me. There was a lot of stuff going on, but not a lot behind it, maybe.
with. Right. Yeah.
Hopefully that changes. Yeah. We'll
I,
see.
I think it has changed for me. I'm having fun now.
Well, you had fun in the beginning too, so I'm happy you're having fun. all
I
the way
did,
along.
but I got bored on that train after a while. It was taking a while. I was excited to get to this part too.
Yeah.
This was coming, and I like this stuff.
Good.
Yeah. How you doing, Jerry? Are you enjoying the movie?
Yeah. No, I'm with you there, Tommy. There's more to sink your teeth into and to talk about with Indy as where he is in life as a
Yeah.
character, his trajectory. Feeling conflicted that here's a dude who's putting whatever whiskey in his morning coffee, which is awful, but
Yeah.
at the same time there's a poignant thing to it, and I do think, I don't know, we've always talked about Indiana Jones being a selfish character, and so to a certain extent, Marion has left him, and we see him alone, and as a grumpy old guy. I mean, it's hard to watch, but it also, as you said, Tommy. But he's not going to stay there. So
Right.
That's
Do you think, Jerry, that he feels like that he feels thin, like butter scraped over too much bread?
Yeah, I
What's that
do.
from?
I do think it. Yes.
See,
Yes,
Pete
I
doesn't
do.
know.
No.
That's
no.
that's Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that's exactly how he
I
feels.
like that. Until you told me what that was from.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of poetic somehow.
See?
Hey, what is it?
It's like the guy knew how to write.
Little Johnny Eager who passes
Yeah.
out like the young budding, he's like a sophomore at Hunter College, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to stay after and be there for the retirement party. Like, what is
Yeah.
on his shirt?
Probably his lunch.
What is that? Like, he has something on the right-hand
It's just
side.
triangles. It's just like
Yeah.
a pattern of triangles.
But what the
I
living
swear
hell
I had
is
it.
that?
I think
Is
it's
he in,
just like
like-
one of those
oh,
60s
God.
patterns.
Oh yeah,
That is an incredible shirt.
it's actually kind of
Yeah.
amazing. Sure, we should make that. Let's make T-shirts.
Yeah, we absolutely did T-Public. Is that like a pocket, and then he's got the
Gosh.
triangles?
No, it's just a pattern on the fabric.
But
Wow.
on the right-hand side of his shirt, our right-hand side of his shirt, is that a pocket that he has? hanging
Yeah, he's
down?
got a
Yeah.
pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pocket's weirdly low down because
Yeah.
the pattern's all above the pocket.
Oh, somebody found that at some Goodwill
Yeah.
store,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're like,
This
"Oh,
is the
we've
one.
got to use this." Yeah,
Yeah.
This is for nerd number one.
Yeah.
totally.
That definitely needs to be a T-Public shirt.
He
Wow.
wants so badly to be going out with the girl standing next to him.
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah.
if she'll
Yeah.
see me give the clock to Dr. Jones, and she'll think that I'm a special guy in the department, and she'll.
I'd
talk
love
me.
to take her to Syracuse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd
I
love
hear
to.
Syracuse is beautiful this time of year.
Those gold coveralls match your eyes.
Pete,
go
have you ever been to
matriculate at
Syracuse?
Syracuse.
Any of
No.
the Syracuses?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you know what I did at Syracuse University?
What's that?
I played Zybots.
nice.
I had
Oh,
Zybots
that's
in the
nice.
student union there, and I played that with my friend Johnny.
You guys pronounce Syracuse the same way you pronounce Dagobah.
Oh,
You pronounce it like it with an
what?
E, like Syracuse. You say-
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Oh, instead
you
of
guys say-
Syracuse?
and you say
Oh.
Dagobah and you say Syracuse.
Mm.
It's interesting.
I was on a college trip because I was looking at Syracuse.
I remember you were talking about going to Fordham. Yeah.
Well, I did apply there, but I was not going to go to Fordham.
yeah.
But it's a Jesuit school. I wasn't going to go to another Catholic
okay.
university. Yeah, I had after 12 years of Catholic Jesuit education, I was like, just take me to Sinner U.
Yeah, Hail Satan.
Yeah, just take me. Yeah, I was not. I had a lot of friends who wound up going to Fordham, but I went to Syracuse, and I remember I was a senior again at a Jesuit high school at the time, an all boys Jesuit high school at the time, And there was like a friend of the family who had a daughter who was staying there. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, if Jerry can come up and visit, that's fine. He can spend a night in the dorm room and, live on campus for a night and get a little bit of the college life and the whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. So we drove up in the fall, the old college search time of year, get
Yeah.
up to Syracuse. It's quite pretty and it's, autumnal and all the things. And I will never forget, I was in the dorm room with, these, again, here I am at an all boys Catholic high school.
So you're doing the Syracuse.
Yeah.
I
you're doing
did. This was
you're,
my
You're
Syracuse.
totally Tanyaing.
I was
Jerry's got a
totally timing,
Syracuse
and I
story.
was in the same dorm room as two co-eds who were, freshmen, and they were like having the time of their lives, and they were living it up, and in college,
Pillow
and rock
fights.
and roll, and they like invited, they're like, "Yo, come on in, Jerry, join us," and they had like
Our
a
clothes don't fit right. Come on in. They keep falling off. I don't know what's going on. Can you help us?
it was one of those dear penthouse letters.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're sitting there and you're 17 and you're completely manacled by religion, you're tied. No, and I remember sleeping on the floor of their dorm room, and I swear to God, I remember sitting there going like, "Oh my gosh, college is great. Syracuse is great. I would love to come here. This is incredible. How do I get it? All I have to do is write an essay."
How did you wind up in Indiana after that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. I didn't.
I mean, I'm glad you did, but it sounds like an odd choice.
I liked Syracuse, and I had a good time, and it was totally like a rock and roll. Like it was like what Tanya suggested in this
Uh-huh.
segment. It's funny.
All the choices we make.
Yeah.
and don't
Did you
make.
remember, Tommy? Did you run around on your college tour trip thing?
Did I run around? I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, did we dragged around?
I don't remember much of that at all for some reason. I remember
Yeah.
like going to a couple of schools, but I don't remember like, I don't know, having strong opinions or bunking with chicks or anything. I don't know. But I went to school. I went to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and then I was just as clueless then.
No, yeah. What about you, Pete? Did you go
we
to
were
and
poor.
look at
I
couple
I never
different
did any
schools?
kind of tour of anything. No,
You knew you were going to Indiana. I mean, you were living in
I didn't have a
Indiana,
choice.
right?
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was like my dad was like, "We'll give you some money for school if you go to an in-state." And I was living in Indiana at the time. If you go to an in-state school,
And did
and I
did
wasn't,
you
I was not at all like industrious enough to come up with funding for school.
did you look at Purdue?
No,
Or like-
I applied to two schools,
Yeah,
University of Hawaii
I remember
and
that.
Indiana, and I got accepted to both. But I was like, I have no idea how I would pay for University of Hawaii. And Indiana was gonna. I mean, it was like back then, college was like almost nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I had scholarships and work study, and
Sure.
like for in-state, it was like, you come out of school with them owing you money, not it's like,
Yeah, no, I remember
it's not at all like
very
today.
cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Hawaii was going to be like for a kid who had like no ability to do anything, impossible to somehow pay for.
Hmm.
You know the thing that blew my mind? I applied to like, I don't know, 16 schools. Because that's my parents, and my sisters had gone before me. They applied to all these schools. I applied to a bunch of colleges and I got into like, I don't know, whatever, 10 out of 16 or something. Like, you get there, you had your reach school and you could probably get in school. And one of them that I got into was USC
Wow.
here in
Wow.
LA.
Today
Yeah,
that's
and
got like a 1.6% acceptance rate. That's like one of the hardest schools in the country to get. That's amazing.
I imagine that they looked at me and they said, "Here's a guy from an all-boys Jesuit Catholic school. We know he's not he's not going to be going to Syracuse or doing it up to no good, nothing at all."
No
So
Syracusing.
yeah, no Syracusing around. No, and it was one of the few schools I did not visit. and it kind of
Oh.
drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm like, I could have been out here at the
You
age
could be doing
of
this
18.
podcast with someone cool that knows about
Yeah.
film from
Oh, dude,
LA.
I'd be
Aw, that would've been
famous
sweet.
right now. I would like if I'd moved to LA when I was in 18,
Yeah.
and at the time, I mean, imagine the Syracusing that could have gone on,
Yeah.
and yet there I am sitting in rural Indiana.
That's what Indy's thinking while he looks at this clock. He's like, oh, all the Syracuse I could have done. And I did some.
I had zero guidance from any adult figure about going to college, which
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that one person on this podcast is providing his son with some adult guidance.
I'm doing what I
Well,
can.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, you're the eldest, and Pete, you're the eldest, so that's hard. I mean, that's hard. Yeah, you're the trailblazers.
I guess so. My sister went to a fancier school than I did, though. She applied herself more.
I
we know.
have two older sisters, and they like totally paved the way. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I mean, my parents and my sisters they sort of blossomed during this like college, application season. And so I don't know, it was considered an exciting time.
Okay.
And I don't know.
That's fun.
It's easier
Yeah.
when you do have, siblings who
Yeah.
sort of blaze a trail and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you just do the thing, and you just, you lie in your essay, and you just tell them,
Right. Just bullshit. Yeah.
just tell them you're a real good boy.
I can't wait to change the world, and here's how
Yeah,
I'm doing. Here are my leadership skills.
Dear
order.
Mr. Indiana,
Yeah.
here are my leadership skills. That's funny.
Well, speaking
Well,
of,
college.
sisters who
and
went to
leadership
college.
Speaking of
and
college and people
Yeah.
went to college
like
and
sleeping on
trailblazers.
someone's
They
floor and
teach
yeah.
college. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. This coming in just over the wire.
Oh.
From Professor Christy Porter. Let's see here.
I feel like you've pronounced her name differently these last two episodes. I feel
Like
like you've called her
Dagobah?
I
Yeah.
feel like you've
Dagobah?
called her Christy, like you're about to say Christian, like
Christy
Christy.
Purder.
Professor
Christy
Christy
Porter.
Porter.
Christy. Oh yeah, maybe you're turning into Thurston Howell. Christy.
Yeah. I've been
Love her.
I've been moisturizing with oil of Olay.
Little.
No, yes, here we go. We know that Harrison Ford can act, but can Indy act?
Oh, interesting.
Because he's sitting here at the end
Yeah.
of the party, and they're
He
like,
does not
they
want to
hand
be
him-
there.
Yeah, he does not want to be there, and he gives the clock away. But okay, can he act? Like, does he sound like he says like, whatever, thanks for putting up with me or whatever it is. Like, oh, you guys shouldn't have. 10 years. So does he sell that sentiment?
Yeah, I think he sort of. It's the weird thing where like we as the audience see exactly what's going on, but you can imagine the characters in the scene seeing something a little different that he's trying to get across. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking he's feeling sad. It's his last
Yeah.
day.
Oh, he's so conflicted. Look at him. He's so sad. It's hard to say goodbye.
I don't. You know what's interesting is I don't know if he's conflicted. It seems like he's apathetic.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's
yeah,
sympathetic.
yeah. That's more
I don't
like
think he's sad that it's the last day, and I don't think he's certainly not. I don't know if I'd say he's happy.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
happy about anything.
I think
Yeah.
He's
No,
sort
I
of
know. I
done.
think he's
Yeah.
I think he's just
Yeah.
like it's a bunch of whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
On that note,
I'm not going to get past this. I know this. You guys think I'm dumb for saying this, but I'm not. I can't get past the fact that he literally communicated with the Almighty, with multiple Almighties, and with transcendental aliens, and he's seen so many things beyond this, this world that we see. Yet he's unable to feel any sense of wonder in the world around him. That blows my mind. I still have a hard time
Well,
buying that.
he never walked away from those things being like, boy, have I been through something. I see the world so differently now. Like it's usually bureaucratic
Yeah.
fools. I don't care if I talk to God. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
You screwed me over.
The interesting thing is, as a character, one of his most quotable lines is, it's not the years, it's the miles, right? And
Yeah.
and so he's already thinking of himself as having all these experiences when he says that.
Yeah.
And yet he has many, many more
Yeah,
after
he's a little
saying that
spring chicken.
line, and it doesn't seem to land at all. I mean, that
Right.
moment it's on the Bantu Wind that he says it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like, okay, it does completely dawn on him in that moment. I don't know if it does at any other time.
I mean, he saw those ancient statues come to life
He did.
in that comic book.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
the
They're all melted gold or whatever. Yeah. God, he's been through so much.
Yeah, we've been.
But again, like he sees all
We've
these
been-
amazing things, and then he's standing in New York with a clock. It's like, this
to
is
me-
it. This is what it all
Yeah.
adds up to.
To me, it was, I loved the X-Files, but at some point it started to get super frustrating because A, they never explained anything that happened,
Yeah.
and B, Scully saw 8 million things. She saw 8 million different kinds of aliens, and she saw this stuff proven over and over, and then every new episode she'd be like, I've never seen any proof or any evidence of any kind of
Right.
thing. And at some point it's just like, come on, you're just
Sure.
doing this
Yeah.
to keep it going. It doesn't make sense for a human being. I don't know.
Right.
I'm at that point with India. I think.
We
I don't know.
did
It might
You know
depend on
what?
the human being.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say he's consistent in how they choose to draw the
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. they are.
You can look at it and be like, why is the character drawn
Yeah.
that way? But
Yeah.
Well, on that note, maybe Indy loves his clock, and he's gonna cherish it and put it up on his mantle as soon as he gets home. We'll find out next time. But in the meantime, go appreciate the time you have and tally up all your deeds and see if they add up to you having a nice time right now. And then come back next week for the next few minutes of Dial of Destiny right here on the good old Indiana Jones Minute.